This is Bobby from the Vespasian Warner Public Library District, and I'm here with another tale from the archive where we talk about objects and documents in our local history collection. Today we grabbed an article from the newspaper files. Librarians used to, and we still do, cut out pieces of the local paper that have interesting local stories. This particular story is about Marilyn Strain, who was one of the first emergency coordinators in the state of Illinois. And this particular article was actually written by Becky Adams, who has been a longtime member of our library's board. Mrs. Strain actually got her start in emergency services during the 1968 storms that devastated Wapella and a lot of this area. She and her husband hunkered down in a basement for 5 days on a CB radio, because she was a radio enthusiast, helping to coordinate all the emergency services. And I'm just going to read to you her story of that. Mrs. Strain started out as a volunteer herself. She and her husband Galen belonged to a citizens band radio club in 1968 before the devices became so popular. They had agreed to help if a disaster ever occurred. One night they had just sat down to supper when high winds, rain, and hail began to pummel the area. We looked at each other and said, "What will we do?" Mrs. Strain said. They ended up in the basement of City Hall. She manned the CB there for 5 days with only 10 hours of sleep. Mrs. Strain didn't see much of her husband during this time because he was in Wapella helping tornado victims and in areas of Clinton hit hard by flooding. My job was to cordon off the flood area, set up roadblocks and guards to keep people from running off with other people's belongings. This is how we got our feet wet with disasters, she quipped. As a result of Mrs. Strain's efforts, she was appointed to the head of the emergency services, the disaster coordinator, and she helped set up services for drowning victims at Clinton Lake, for snow emergencies, and she did a great deal in her time. And she did it with a sign above her desk that said, "Sometimes the best man for the job is a woman." Thank you for joining me for this tale from the archive, and I hope to see you soon.